Welcome into a late night edition of the San Francisco 49ers Report. We're going to recap this Niners preseason finale against the Las Vegas Raiders as it ends in a crazy way, and it ends in a tie, 24-24. We nearly saw one of those miracle plays after a Hail Mary. Tanner Mordecai, though, got whistled for a throw forward, so it would not have counted. Either way, Raiders end up driving down the field late. Carter Bradley leads a good drive, throwing some dots. Daniel Carlson field goal makes it 24-24. And now we look ahead to the 2024 regular season for San Francisco. As part of this game and this postgame show and instant reaction, there's so much to talk about with what transpired as far as player performances, players improving their stock, roster battles, that and a whole lot more. There's also some injury news that we want to get to, and this is a little bit concerning moving forward for San Francisco. I know that there's a little bit of a lull until week 1 against the New York Jets on Monday Night Football, but I've talked about this on the show, how the Niners are thin at a couple of different positions. Edge rusher, defensive tackle, 2 of those positions. So it was not ideal that on the second drive defensively of the game for San Francisco, and a lot of starters got some decent runway in this ball game, that we saw Leonard, Floyd, and Yetur Gross-Matos both go down. And both Leonard, Floyd, and Yetur Gross-Matos were dealing with some leg injuries. Now, we're not sure the severity of those injuries. There's a positive development that Leonard Floyd, the Niners' biggest free agent acquisition, had his shoulder pads on, was seen laughing with head coach Kyle Shanahan. He has been an extremely durable player. He's played in 108 straight games, so he has been an Iron Man of sorts for Yetur Gross-Matos. I think he's due potentially for a breakout year. This is a player who can fulfill that Arden Key, Charles Omenihu role. Great athlete, really long. He can play inside, outside. Hopefully he's okay. He kind of got twisted up a little bit on that second drive. So we'll monitor those injuries, and hopefully it's nothing serious, because San Francisco, very light at edge rusher. And if there are injuries there and those players miss some time, you have to wonder if San Francisco could make an external move. Before we continue to move forward during our instant reaction postgame show, make sure you subscribe to us here on the 49ers Report. We are approaching 137,000 subscribers. We keep you in the know in a very insightful, entertaining, informative way right here on this program. So hit that subscribe button. The other big story of this game, or at least one of the other big stories of this game, is quarterback Brock Purdy. He got decent run with a lot of his top weapons, at least those weapons who are available. At the end of the night, Brock Purdy goes 9 of 12, 96 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Let's talk about that interception. So the interception, I don't think was a great read from Brock Purdy. I think it was a predetermined decision. He kind of locked in on Deebo, who didn't run the best route. It went off Deebo's hands. The ball was a little bit high, deflected, intercepted, returned. Brock Purdy actually made the tackle at the end of that return. Not ideal that you see that. I wouldn't throw that ball if I was Brock Purdy. It was a bad route from Deebo, as I mentioned. It was also a really good play by the DB to get his hand in there to punch that football free. Why did that pick happen, though? There was a play before that where the Niners would have been faced with a 3rd and 1, obvious running situation after a really good play by Guerendo, who we'll talk about here, but Brandon Willis was called for a penalty. That made it a 3rd and 6, knocked the Niners into a situation in which it became a passing situation, and then Purdy gets intercepted. So kind of a snowball effect there for San Francisco. There were some really good things from Brock Purdy. He made some incredible plays. First play from scrimmage, he threw nearly a 30-yard ball downfield to Deebo Samuel. Excellent throw, gave him a chance, put it where he was able to make a play. Deebo got 2 feet down, terrific throw. And then later, Brock Purdy, as he was getting drilled, threw a straight-up dime to George Kittle. It was a little bit high, but if you go back and watch it, Purdy had to throw that ball high. It was the classic Purdy over the middle area of the field, throwing with such timing, accuracy, anticipation, where Kittle goes up and gets it, and it's right over the outstretched hands of the DB. So some good, some bad from Brock Purdy. I also liked the play where things broke down, nothing developed downfield, and Purdy scampered, improvisational play, picking up a first down with his legs. I frankly want to see more of that from him this year because I think he's a really underrated, outside of structure quarterback, an underrated athlete. Another concern that I have, this Niners defense going into this preseason finale, I know, it's the preseason, right? They were the worst rated defense among 32 teams in the NFL. And now you have this new defensive coordinator, Nick Sorensen, who's very unproven. And the Niners tackling has been a straight up joke throughout the preseason. They can't tackle anybody. It leads to extended plays, extended drives. It can't happen in the regular season. Now, the Niners didn't play the likes of Charvarius Ward and Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. That obviously is going to help out this defense, but the tackling simply needs to be better. And the Niners were playing against the Raiders' backups. Sticking with this offensive movement here, or going back at least to the offense. First drive, first play, the deep ball from Purdy to Deebo. It was awesome. Kittle had a first down. There was a pitch play to Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason is a really good running back in this league. Jordan Mason is one of the more underrated players on this Niners team. I feel as though if he were given more carries somewhere else, he could be a very productive running back. It just seems like anytime he runs the ball, it's a 5 or 6 yard pickup. He has good balance, power, vision, patience. He keeps his feet and his legs churning at all times. 8 carries for 42 yards, including a touchdown here tonight. He has a lot of juice. And I want to see the Niners manage the workload for Christian McCaffrey a little bit more so that they can get Jordan Mason more involved because he is clearly the second best running back on this team. But how about the play of Isaac Guerendo tonight? Isaac Guerendo as a runner runs with power, balance, speed. He's decisive. He had 11 carries for 32 yards. Look, not a good yards per carry, right? But how about the 93-yard kickoff return that he had, which he nearly took back to the crib? There, you saw at 220 how he glides running a 4.3 40-yard dash where he started far side of the field, cut it all the way back, and then nearly took it back for a touchdown. There is such special ability that Isaac Guerendo possesses. He has to figure out the hamstring issues, but if he can, he could be a part of this running back rotation, and he could be the week 1 kickoff returner because you don't have a lot of players who look like that, who run like that. And in back-to-back weeks, you've seen Jacob Cowing, who last week popped, this week scored a touchdown on a wonderfully thrown ball by Josh Dobbs, who found a keyhole. He's making some plays. He could be your team's punt returner, contributing as a rookie. And then Isaac Guerendo can contribute, maybe in the running back rotation, but most likely as a player who can impact this team as a kickoff returner. Now, I do want to mention Nick Zackelj. He's filled in for Aaron Banks at left guard. We've talked a lot of good so far in this postgame show. That experiment, it's not working out. Nick Zackelj is getting bullied at left guard for San Francisco. If he has to start week 1 against the Jets ahead of Aaron Banks, not good. Not good at all. And then lastly, offensively, Cam Latu. He has improved his stock. He might be able to make this team. It looked as though he was a 3rd-round pick who was definitely going to get cut, but he had a couple of nice catches, special teams plays. He had some good blocks in this game. I believe he had a seal block on that Isaac Guerendo return for a touchdown. He's a player who it's hard to justify letting go of a third-round pick. Did he earn himself a roster spot tonight? Maybe. Because he also looked natural in catching the football. He's really improved from last year. You have to at least give him that. We'll talk defense, special teams, and more coming up around the corner. First, let's tell you about our friends at PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the game. With over 5 million active members, it is the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it is just you against the numbers. I love some of the PrizePicks specials that they have. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. And if you sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, you're off to the races. You don't need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And then lastly, 1 Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePicks every week in September. So download the app for free, create an account, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use the code CLNS. Here's some future picks that we like as far as PrizePicks goes. We'll put all of this information down below in the comment section and in the description of tonight's 49ers Report video. Defensively, we saw Leonard Floyd pop before he got hurt. It looked to almost be a sack, but Nathan Peterman did pick up 1 yard. It was good to see him make an immediate impact. He has pass rush ability, 9 sacks in 4+ years, natural bend and quickness off that edge. I hope that he's okay. There was also a destructive play where Jair Brown punched the football loose of Dylan Lawby, who was a late-round pick for the Raiders. Demetrius Flannigan-Foles was in there as well. Robert Beal Jr. with the recovery. Just a good play by Jair Brown. If he did, in fact, punch that ball free, he's due for a breakout year. Renardo Green put some more good plays on tape, had some good coverage. He did give up a touchdown, and on that play, he was whistled for a hold, but you continue to see him stacking up some good reps. The 49ers, speaking of cornerback, are so deep at corner. Like, for instance, Rock Ya-Sin has had a really good preseason. He's a veteran who's been in this league for a little while. He could play. Yet, he might not have a spot on this team because the Niners are so deep at corner. I think you have to find a way to have him on the 53. Samuel Womack, stock down for him. He gave up a touchdown on Tyreek McAllister in which he just looked really, really sloppy. Tatum Bethune continues to be around the football, and I think there might be a spot for him on the 53. He also made a play on special teams. He's just very active, very instinctual, always seems to be around the ball, and as a 7th-round pick, if you can make plays defensively and contribute on special teams, there's a spot for you. I also want to mention that Dominic Pooney played well once again offensively. And then special teams. You have the Isaac Guerendo return. You have Jacob Cowing giving you some juice as a return man. The Niners special teams unit, they continue to be trashed during the preseason. They gave up an 81-yard touchdown return for a touchdown to Tyreek McAllister, who had himself a night. Now, Isaac Guerendo did return with a 93-yard return and answered that. But tackling, getting off the field on 3rd down, special teams lapses, injuries, those are some concerns that I have as we look ahead to week 1 for San Francisco here. So that does it for our post-game show instant reaction. Who won a roster spot tonight? Was it Cam Latu? Was it another player? Drop me a name or names down below in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching the show.